Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Monday Market Report. This is for the week ending July 12th, 2021. I am your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and I want to thank each and every single one of you for joining in on this video where we talk and discuss some of the most relevant post-1900 modern coins, graded coins, that have sold here in the past week. And I could honestly say that we have seen just a little bit of a slowdown in the marketplace. I think we're beginning to see a little bit of the I guess the summer vacation effect take its place here this week. Just looking at one of the bigger auction sites, great collections, by the way. Yeah, we've definitely seen just a slight downtick in the amount of inventory. Now, it may not be a slowdown as a result of just the overall coin market dropping down or anything like that. It's not like sports cards or any other asset class that is dropping at a rapid rate right now. But I think where we're sitting as far as the coin market goes, we are beginning to see a lightening of the supply of some of the quality coins, and just taking a look at the upcoming listings from Great Collections and Heritage, I've noticed that there's not nearly as many offerings. As a matter of fact, it's probably dropped, maybe 10-15%. And that's just a testament to not only how strong the market is and was for the last 6 to 12 months, but also just overall demand for high quality coins as people are cashing out their crypto and their stocks and all that stuff. And for the summertime, for the time being, they're putting it into tried and true assets. And that's some of the coins that we're going to see today. A lot of the coins that we are going to discuss are some of the older obsolete type coins of the 20th century. There's even a few coins that are brand new that I think will turn a few heads. Of course, these type of coins have a stranglehold on the market for a certain reason, and that's the registry set game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Of course, these are all listings from Great Collections, so all images are Great Collections. They're fantastic images, by the way. And if you want to know more on how to consign with Great Collections or buy or, partake in some of those auctions, go to greatcollections.com. It's probably one of the easiest interfaces. This day and age, I prefer them over like eBay, only because you know what you're getting, quality's there, and their services are second to none. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the first listing here, and that's going to be this one, a 1966 Lincoln Memorial cent. Sure, I mean, it looks like a business struck coin, but this one, however, is a special mint set. Now, there's really not a whole lot of like oohs and ahs with this coin. Like, it's not a cameo or a deep cameo. Usually, some of the more valuable special mint set coins from 65 to 67 have to be deep cameo, but in this particular instance, this is just an incredibly clean, high-grade example. As you can see, it grades out PCGS, mint state 69, full red, such a beauty, and you can see the SMS designation right on the slab label. This one right here is sold for $2,531.25. There are two ways that you could grade these coins. And you could say the same for any special mint set coin of this 3-year kind of range. And that's going to be either high grades, like this, or cameo, deep cameo designation. These coins right here were a replacement for the proof sets. People grumbled about the proof sets going away. Back in 1964, the U.S. Mint responded by producing a hybrid proof/unk type coin, and unlike proof coins where they're struck twice, these coins are struck only once. So that would kind of stand the reason why as to there's not so many of these in deep cameo or cameo. It's just you don't have the double strike process on SMS coins than you did with proof. And the next one that we have here undoubtedly is going to be a registry set coin. So again, be cautious when you dump money into something like this. The registry set deal is simply a game. It's a points-based system where you assemble some of the highest graded coins. Now that's one way to do the registry set game, but you could collect coins all VF, you could do low balls, whatever. But this one right here, 1957 Lincoln Wheat Cent. It's an NGC Mint State 67 red. If this was a PCGS coin, it probably would be like maybe along the lines of a 66. There's just always a half to a full point grade disparity from one auction company or one grading company to another. But this one right here, again, registry set coin. Don't invest a lot of money in these types because as more become available in Mint State 67 as a result of submissions, that's going to erode the price on these other coins of the same grade. This one sold for $1,022.43. We have another registry set coin, this time a 1941D Lincoln Wheat Cent. This one right here is a beautifully stunning PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus full red example. It even has the CAC backed green bean on there as well. So this one has all of its everything is accounted for on this coin to make it an absolute registry set bomb. A real points stacker, I would say. Again, same as the 57 before it. I wouldn't invest a ton of money into coins like this. 41Ds are generally well struck, so you're going to find a lot of them that look really nice, like this one. This example sold for $1,248.75. Now, I love good quality toning on Lincoln cents. Copper is one of those metals that's extremely reactive to the elements. So, maybe a piece of paper that sits right on it, these coins being in a roll, in an album, anytime they're commingling with like the acidity of the paper along with other atmospheric conditions like moisture and humidity, you really get a really nice kind of like dog dish of coloring on these coins. Now, people for the longest time, I would say it's more prevalent within the last 10 to 20 years. There are a number of folks that make attempts to falsify toning on Lincoln cents because they all know how easy it is on this particular composition. But what we have here is the 1932D Lincoln Wheatback Cent. This one grades out PCGS Mid-State 66 Plus. And it is designated as a red-brown. Normally, when you have a full red coin that's toned over, they won't grade it full red unless there's a certain percentage of it that is full red. This one obviously is not, so they gave it a red-brown designation. It's also CAC certified. Beautiful coin, sold for $1,713.38. $1,713. And the final Lincoln cent of the bunch is another tough one. The grade looks a little bit pedestrian, but when you look at the actual date of this Lincoln Wheat cent, you'll understand why. And it's a 1925S. And I will say this strike is hammered. Okay, very seldom do you see a 25S with that kind of reverse paired up to that kind of obverse. Usually the reverse is going to look more weakly struck, die deterioration, you name it. And vice versa. So I'm glad to see this one here. I mean, it's a really nice pairing. I think that's one of the contributing factors, eye appeal wise, that really allowed this to sell for the amount of money it did. The grade, Mint State 64 red brown through NGC, is actually quite a high grade for this particular date. As we all know, coins of the Great Depression age were seldom hoarded up in mid-state condition. A lot of them were used. People spent these pennies to buy a loaf of bread for their family. This is an atypical coin to find out there in the wild. This one right here is sold for $1,486.12. Again, it's a 64. So coins 63, 64 still command quite a bit of money. Some will look at this and say, yep, I will gladly invest in something like this, and that is perfectly acceptable. All right, so this is one that's gaining a lot of attention. It's the date 2006, Philadelphia. So some people would look at this and say, "Oh yeah, that's a like a satin strike or something like that." However, this is just a regular business strike Jefferson nickel. The grade is incredibly high. It's a mid-state 68 full steps, and you don't normally see coins of this ilk that are completely devoid of milk spots or water spots from the rinses the U.S. Mint used during this era. It's a relatively clean coin, and it does appear to be a 68 at first glance. It is what it is. But this is no doubt about it a registry set coin, and it is made for that specifically. It's just an incredible example. And this is just a testament to the popularity of the Jefferson Nickel series. This example sold for $3,712.50, which seems like a lot of money because it is a lot of money for a coin like this. 1938 D Buffalo. So we had just crossed over all the other Jefferson nickel dates. You figured there'd be a few more, but not this week. We're seeing a lot more Buffalo nickels here in the last few weeks being represented because of their status of being one of the most popular 20th century coins that you could collect and feel good about it at the end of the day. A 30 AD is the final date of the Buffalo nickel run before it transitioned over to the Jefferson nickel design. This coin right here is a beauty. It's an original holder NGC graded mid-state 68. Fully lustrous, a little bit of color in certain areas, but overall just an original eye-appealing example. This one sold for $2,328.75. And a 37S, although it doesn't look nearly as lustrous as the 38D before it, this one right here, a much tougher date because of its mintage. San Francisco minted coins of the 30s can be a little bit of a tough coin to grade out. This one is an NGC mid-state 67 plus. Again, probably more better suited for a registry set, if anything else, but just a really nice individual coin by itself. And this one sold for $1,413. A much tougher date, comparatively to the previous coin, this is a 27S. Now here's where things begin to get a little bit interesting. These coins, much like its Lincoln Cent counterparts, were very seldom hoarded in the 20s. All right, so this is just another example that has survived unscathed by circulation, and we have a PCGS mid-state 65, which at first glance seems like a pedestrian grade, but in reality, for a coin of this type, this is a very rare grade. It's also CAC certified, so it's got the full endorsement on the certification, and I'm happy to say that this one sold and hammered for $13,962.38 here last week. Now here's another one right here, and just goes to show you that coins can have problems, but if there is a clear, easy, discernible variety on there, especially one of the most popular and coveted varieties, you better believe that this one will sell for a good deal of money. So this is a 1916 Buffalo, and of course is the doubled die obverse, the FS101. You can see the doubling here clearly in the date. Fortunately, it has a full date, but it looks like the coin was cleaned. I think the whole coin was probably dipped in some sort of acid at one point. It just has that kind of pebbly looking surface to it. But the date is the ultimate stronghold part of the coin for the variety, but also if you look here at the feather area and this little ribbon that comes off of his braid, you'll see the doubling there as well, and also this feather as well. Just a few of the main diagnostical features of this. So, an AU details cleaned 1916 DDO is definitely going to have a home, and it sure did. It realized $14,062.50, which is just an insane amount of money. But again, when you have clear, discernible features of one of the most coveted varieties on U.S. coinage. It is not immune to high bidding, and boy, did this one shoot as far as I can see. Okay, we got some dimes. This time we got a few Mercuries. We got 1945. This is a little bit tougher variety. This is the double die Auvers FS101. You could see it on the initials for Adolph Weinman. You could see it on the date. And a little bit on the motto, "In God We Trust." All right, it's not a particularly strong double to die, but this one is in the Cherry Picker's Guide. This one grades out PCGS Mint State 66, pretty decent grade, and is also CAC certified. This one sold for $2,431.12. Be sure you look for these. This is a really good cherry pick. 1938D, a little bit tougher date, not nearly as tough as the Walking Liberty half dollar of the same designer, but what we have here is just an incredible high-graded PCGS Mint State 68, and it does have full bands. You can just see the really nice strike on the reverse. That really kind of set this one, far above the rest of the other coins of the same type. This one right here sold for $3,162.38. The coloration on this coin, a light kind of like bluish tone on the obverse and the reverse is just beautiful. We got 1930 Mercury this time around. This one also a beauty. This one is also a PCGS Mint State 67, also a full bands designated coin, so it's got that nice sharp strike on the reverse. Beautiful, beautiful original piece. This thing does not appear to have been dipped at any one point. This has all the original skin on there. It's also CAC backed. This one sold for $4,847.62. Beautiful coin. And we're going to wrap it up with a few quarters this week. We have a 1983p. If you look at this coin, man, it has got a lot of things going on. I would say this coin at one point, or the dies that were used to produce this coin, might have had some die clashing. But you see all the polishing marks all over the fields going every which way. No, it hasn't been cleaned. This is the original look of the coin. With all the die polishing lines on there. Just a really, really beautiful coin. Some people are not a fan of this, but I think it shows a lot of character, plus also shows a little bit of history of what happened to those dies. One can only imagine just a crazy die clashing that were on those sets of dies, and it shows. The Mint employee did a lot of work to try and transform the dies to a suitable enough state to produce more quarters, and they did just that, obviously. The grade, it's not the highest on the block. It is a Mint State 66 through PCGS, but the real reason why I wanted to talk about this coin, not because of the die file lines, but just the overall kind of residual value effect of one of the most toughest Mint State coins to find, and that's the 83p. Also has value in a little bit lower grades. This coin in a 66 sold for $824.62, which it doesn't need a Mint State 67 tag to sell for many thousands of dollars. If it grades out a point lower, you are fine. $800, I would say I'd take that all day long. One of the toughest Washington quarters in the series. This is a 63D, so the Denver Mints of the last few years of the silver standard coins are the toughest. 61D, 62D, and a 63D. It's grade 67 and higher. And it always seems to me all the ones that gain enough notoriety on the Monday market reports always seem to have some sort of toning. So keep that in mind. When you're looking for these, the toning adds just the overall kind of like appeal factor to the coin. Whether it's a toning that's attractive to you or not. All right. It's just people love the originality, the original skin of the coin. This one, PCGS graded Mint State 67. And this one is also part of the Sunset Collection. They are in week number 153. and this one sold for $2,925. And then finally, we're going to end it off on just an absolute stunner of a coin. We have a 1934D. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever talked about any other branch mint of a 34 Washington quarter other than a Philadelphia. So this is kind of like my first time, I guess, talking about a D or an S of this particular date. But we have a 34D, beautiful coin, mint state 67. This is going to be probably a registry set piece at one point. CAC certified as well. And, wow, the money is just huge on this coin. Sold for $8,849.25. This coin has sold for more money than, say, the 1916 Standing Liberty, the 32 DNS in mint state 65, and a few others. I mean, you know, nearly $9,000 for this coin. Just seems absolutely crazy, but, you know, when they come up so infrequently in the marketplace and people have the chance to bid on it, you better believe that that's exactly what they're going to do. And then when you have enough spirited bidding, kind of like battling back and forth, that's when prices reach this level. So, not a crazy, insane list of coins this week, but if you looked at some of the coins on a one-to-one basis, very strong sales. So hopefully things will kind of pick back up in terms of submissions to great collections or heritage. Before, you know, by the time the fall season rolls around, that's when I'm expecting to see more inventory out there. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to the Monday Market Report. Again, all photos courtesy of Great Collections. So go ahead and check them out, greatcollections.com. And yeah, bid on a few beauties for yourself. I'm constantly buying from them week after week, and I probably should lay off a little bit. I don't know. It's just they are one of my favorites, and they are worth a look. That's for sure. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe if you enjoy today's content. And yeah, feel free to hit that bell for instant notifications so you get the first-hand access to all of the newest coins as they're being made available. But that's going to go ahead and do it for me, guys. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. As always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care, enjoy the hobby, and I will see you on the next coin video. So long.